There's few things nicer than a cup of tea in the afternoon. Can I get an amen? And it happens to be really cold outside, and I was just out there. My hands are freezing, so this feels really nice. So pardon me while I actually sip my tea.
Here we are. I'm Laura J. Hadley.
Thanks for joining me again today, and I thought this would just be a fun video to spend a few moments together setting the table, which might sound a little funny, but maybe you, like me, have china that you never actually use. Perhaps you have it at least in a place where you can see it and enjoy it for its beauty. Or maybe like me, you have it hidden away and it only comes out on rare occasions. So as it happened a few days ago, I did get the china out for a family dinner. Inevitably though, I only get out the large dinner plates. This time though, I did get out the salad plates because we were having salad. But rarely, if ever, I'm trying to think, have I ever gotten all of the plates out and, and stacked them up nicely and just had the table set like that? I really don't think so. So I thought for a while it would be nice to actually set the table like that and just enjoy the beauty of the set dining room table. So let's do it. Let's get the table set. Well, there we go. I hope that you enjoyed seeing that as much as I enjoyed setting the table. I know know that when I watch other people's YouTube channels, I too enjoy watching the process, even if it is sped up or on the whizzy, as Georgie Newberry likes to say. So what I love about this, first of all, is that I've never had this many pieces out all at one time. We have a large family, so if we were all going to eat, we would have more place settings, but we've never used the teacups, for example. I've never had all 3 plates out or all of the kind, flatware and that sort of thing. I don't think I've ever had the teapot and the cream and sugar bowl. So I just think it's very beautiful. I love my centerpiece. It's very simple, but I like simple beauty. So all I did was go out and trim some greenery off some trees on our property that aren't necessarily the best evergreens because they weren't planted properly when they were planted years ago. And then I had collected pine cones years ago and I just keep saving them. So now they're nice and dry. And yes, whilst I, and probably like you, would prefer a real candle, for safety's sake, battery powered is the way to go. So the thing that I wasn't quite sure about when I did the napkins, the serviettes, I should say, was whether I would make them fancy on the plate, which is what we typically do. We have a family dinner. One of my daughters will make them in a little design, or get out my napkin rings. And these are actually the only napkin rings I own. And they were from my sister-in-law, a gift from my sister-in-law. I can't remember if they were a wedding present or given to me as a gift shortly after I got married. But either way, I'm married for 30 years already, so that's how old these are. And I don't get them out and use them very often, but every time I do, I remember how much I love them because it's just a simple filigree fern leaf, and I love ferns. So I was on the fence as to whether or not I would use these napkin rings. But if you spent any time on YouTube and watched any kind of home tour videos, like on the channel Homeworthy, you will hear people say they like to combine high with low. And so while this china is fine china and this napkin ring isn't, I think it goes beautifully together. There is green in the china. And the other interesting thing is I just had business cards made up for myself, and I have a green, obviously green fern leaf at the bottom of the business card, which reminds me of this. So that's kind of a neat synchronicity. I want to tell you 2 funny stories about the china. The first is where I got it, and that is that's funny, interesting, I guess you could say. I never had fine china. I didn't register it when I got married. We were planning to live in Papua New Guinea, so we didn't need fine things. So about, I would say, 8 or 9 years ago, when my aunt and uncle were going to retire, and they were, doing what people do, which is getting rid of some things, my aunt asked me if I would like her china, and I said, I would love it. So that's where this came from. It was my aunt and uncle's fine china that they got when they got married in 1977. My aunt is an Anglophile, and it happens that this china is made in England. It's Minton. And there's a funny story that they told that they were in England and saw, I forget if they bought it all there, if they just saw a couple of pieces, and so they bought them and brought them home. And then sometime after they were home, my uncle found that you could buy this china in the local department store. So he felt like that was a bit of a waste, but I always laugh. I can still hear him tell that story. He's no longer with us, so it's a sweet memory. As it relates to my new journey in life and my coffee table book, which I hope that you will buy when it comes out, that's the other interesting thing, is that one of the homeowners has this same china. So you'll see that on his dining room table in that featured section of the book. So I just loved that. When I first saw his home to meet him to see if he would like to be in the book, I immediately saw this china. He is fortunate enough to have a beautiful cabinet in his kitchen that has glass front, and so you can see the china all of the time. And hopefully sometime I'll get that and I can see it all of the time also. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy looking at this now. And I thank you so much for spending time with us during this endeavor of setting the table for the winter season. You take good care now. Well, as Linda Vodder likes to say, if you've hung on this long, here's your outfit of the day. Starting with my earrings. These, I think, are from a store in Williamsport called Patina's, which is owned by two ladies who are, at least one of them is a jewelry maker. I absolutely love them. My hat is made by Muckross or Muckross Weavers. It's spelled M-U-C-R-O-S from Muckross House, Killarney, Ireland. And I got this about 5 years ago when I was visiting my sister in Frederick, Maryland. There was a cute Irish import store, and we each got one. My scarf, I have no idea where I got this. I know it's thrifted. My sweater is an oldie but a goodie. I've had this for more than 20 years. And I got it from the Old Navy outlet in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which I wouldn't necessarily shop there now because I have new standards for what I call fast fashion. Maybe we'll hear about those sometime. But I've held on to it this long, so I think that's good. I got my money's worth out of this sweater for sure. I adore turtlenecks, as you can probably tell. And this jacket, this blazer, oh, I forget who it's by. I think Loft. No, it's either Anne Klein or Loft. But again, it was a hand-me-down actually from some sisters-in-law of mine. My breeches are thrifted, Gap, from one of our favorite secondhand boutiques called Valley Apparel. I love my striped socks, which I have no idea where I got them, but I've had them for years. And then my shoes, the one thing that I don't necessarily buy secondhand. I mean, I do have secondhand shoes, but I don't mind spending extra for shoes because I keep them forever. These are Doc Martens. My first and only pair of Doc Martens. I got I probably bought them about 8 years ago. And I love them because they don't have the normal Doc Marten yellow thing on the tag. But yet they're the nice, oh shoot, what do you call that style? Chelsea boot. It's a Chelsea boot. Which I will say, I got these Chelsea boots before the Chelsea boot rage came about sometime in the last few years. Okay, there's my outfit of the day.